Next, we look at intercepts. We're looking at when this will intercept the x or the y-axis. Y-intercepts are easiest to spot in expanded form. The y-intercept in expanded form is just going to be the constant. So for this graph, the constant is 7. The y-intercept is going to be the point 0, 7. When we plug in x equals 0, all of the terms with an x will disappear. We are left with a constant. Here the y-intercept will be the point 0, negative 12. To find the x-intercept, it's best if we can factor and then solve for y equals 0. In the first case, if y is equal to 0, then I would have 0 is equal to 3x plus 7. I'd bring the 7 over, and I'd divide by 3. So the x-intercept would be the point negative 7/3, comma 0. If it's second order or above, you're best off looking at the factored form. In the case of x squared plus 4x minus 12, that factors nicely as x plus 6, x minus 2. So if y is 0, that means that either this or this would have to equal 0. So either x would be a negative 6, and I'd have minus 6, 0 as an intercept, or x would equal 2, and I'd have 2, 0 as an intercept. Now let's look at the more complicated ones. This one I'm going to give to you in factored form. The expanded form is interesting, but mostly for the lead term, which tells you about tails and turning, and for the constant at the end, which tells you about the y-intercept. To find the lead term, take this coefficient times the x's. So it's minus 2 times x times x times x. So it should start with a minus 2x cubed. To find the constant at the end, you're going to do the reverse. You're going to take minus 2 times 1 times minus 2 times minus 4. I prefer to do this in 2 steps. 1, paying attention to positive or negative, and 2, paying attention to magnitude. This will be a negative, positive, negative, negative. 3 negatives make a negative. Now for the magnitude. 2 times 1 times 2 times 4 is 16. So one of the intercepts here will be the point 0, comma, minus 16. For the other intercepts, where it intercepts the x-axis, that happens when y is 0, and that will happen when x is negative 1, positive 2, or positive 4. So the other intercepts are going to be negative 1, 0, 2, 0, 4, 0. Look at this equation. Once again, I'd like to find out what the lead term is and what the constant term is. There are going to be terms on the inside, but we're just not going to look at them. Here, 4 times x times x times x times x, 4x to the 4th. The constants. First the sign. Positive, 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 negative, negative. That makes 2 negatives. Negatives cancel in pairs, so I expect a positive number. 4 times 1 times 3 times 2 times 4. That should be 4, still 4, 12, 24, 96. So for this graph, the y-intercept will be the point 0, comma, 96. The x-intercepts will be at -1, 0, -3, 0, 2, 0, and 4, 0. You will have as many roots, as many zeros as the highest order at most. Sometimes you have fewer. We'll get into that later. You will also have a y-intercept, though it's possible for it to be both a y-intercept and the x-intercept. That happens when it goes through the origin, which is the intersection of the x and the y axes.